Here we are. So let's settle into where we are. We've come into a sacred space. We dedicate that space and we dedicate this time to infinite love and wisdom. You might think about, is there a particular intention that you have for coming to churches? Settle into here and now. Let go of everything out there and just be here, open and receptive to God's living spirit. And we declare a classic unity affirmation as we settle in here. Declare this together. I am centered and poised in the mind of Christ. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul, centered and poised. We join together with a classic old hymn. That's one of the few traditional hymns that unity has not changed a word. We've changed a lot of words in traditional hymns, but that's a good one. So welcome to unity. Welcome to this spiritual community. Welcome to church on Sunday morning. Coming into one church is like coming into all churches. At least we think of it that way, because we step into an infinite, omnipresence that is good, inspiring, prospering, healing, and brings us peace. So we join together with churches everywhere. We recognize there are many paths. There's just one mountain, and we enjoy our own path. And we join together with other traditions. This is a holiday for people in the pagan tradition. It's called Luna Se. I'm sure glad I didn't have to learn to spell Irish. On the 1st of August, we arrived at the great turning between the solstice and the equinox. The ancient cross quarter, the old ones honored as the first harvest. In the north, the fields grow heavy in gold. In the south, the seed stirs quietly beneath the frost. Wherever you stand on the turning earth, this is the day we pause to gather what has ripened in us, to bless us, bless it, and to tend to what is still becoming. That's a wonderful sentiment. And we bless them. We bless all traditions everywhere. And we bless our own tradition. Oh, look at that picture. Yeah, thank you, Art. Okay, let's declare this statement about our community. We are Chesterland Unity, a loving community, deepening connections with God, ourselves, and all others. Our God is love. Our race is human. Our faith is oneness. We have a number of things happening in our area here. So the obelisk was installed this week. Maybe we need to have some sort of little ceremony or dedication or okay, I'll have to make something up. What's that mean? I don't know. We make up meanings in unity. And so we see what that means within us. We honored Luna Se. We have a wheel up there with 8 points on it. So we've called it the medicine wheel. The medicine wheel only has 4 points, north, south, east, and west. There are 8 of them up there, and it's aligned with north and south. So it's like the wheel of the year is what pagans call it. 8 spiritual festivals, holidays of the year. It's like the Buddhist Dharma wheel that has the 8 sacred teachings. And so we can walk the wheel of the year. We can walk the wheel of Dharma. We can walk the 4 directions. We can walk the labyrinth out there. Someone showed up after church last week to walk the labyrinth. I had posted something about its creation on the Labyrinth Society's website, and it's surrounded by a plethora, a wonderful abundance of spiritual tradition and energy. And we're in the midst of a series, Living on the Yellow Brick Road. The Yellow Brick Road was a stressful road. It wasn't peaceful. It wasn't easy. We have situations that are not peaceful, that are not easy. And we might want to figure out, how do I get home? Like Dorothy, not in Kansas anymore. We're not in a normal situation anymore. How do I return back to what was known, what was comfortable? That's what her journey is about. That's what that whole children's story is about. It's not just a children's story, but when we're not in our usual place because of what's happened with our health or relationships or finances or with a sense of purpose or direction, I wonder, how do I get back to myself? How do I get back home? And so that's what this series is about. I base this on a workbook from the youth ministry program from the Association of Unity Churches. And so it's, the stories in the Bible story, that was part of a simple kids program, but it has some profound insights for us as adults. So, what do we do when we're in a strange land? So the story is about different steps we take, different resources we can find, uh, uh, understandings to incorporate. So the first thing we want to say is it's a happy ending. Our lives, in spite of what shows up in our lives, has a happy ending. All is well, because there's a force of love moving through the universe that holds us fast and never lets us go, a force of love, a force of goodness that has a direction, that has a purpose. But whatever it is that's going on, there is still that energy of love and direction and divine order. There is still a connection between heaven and earth that the obelisk represents. So that's the basic idea. And one of the main things we have to, and so we end up searching, going on a journey, maybe getting some fellow travelers along the way. We're not alone. Sometimes we find uh, clear companions, and sometimes allies are a little vague, but we all have a community of some sort. We have connections with other people. Some are difficult, some are a little shadowy, but we are not alone. We are in the presence of God, and the presence of God is in the people around us, as well as being within us and beyond everything. We're always in the presence of God. So that's the second step that we talked about. Faith. What can you hold on to? What's the energy? Reach out for that energy that connects you with a sense of certainty, something that will not let you go. The dog Toto represented that, in that the Toto is very faithful, always connected with Dorothy. So there, what is it that you have, that you know, that you believe, that is always there? Your faith, powerful, powerful spiritual energy. What sticks? What has a sense of unshakable assurance to it? Then the next lesson was about guidance. Glinda the witch gave Dorothy some directions. We get directions, we get ideas, we get inspiration and guidance from a multitude of places. Sometimes we have to be careful and say, is this really guidance? Make it really clear, yes and no. Because lots of people want to give us advice and tell us what to do and give directions. But there is only one direction, the direction of infinite love and wisdom, moving through the universe, moving through our lives, one direction with power, with purpose. And we can listen and watch and wait and be guided. And so guidance is like the force of love, one term used for that flow of the force of love is God's will. Thy will be done. One of the most powerful prayers for guidance that's possible. Okay. And so once we're guided to take a step on a journey, obstacles appear, resistance, difficulties. This does not mean to change direction. It means to gird up your loins, find the strength to overcome the obstacle. If it's really guidance, if it's really the right direction, you'll have the strength, the knowledge, and maybe the company to help deal with it. So outer things come up, but inner things come up as well. There's a shadow things within us that come up that resist what we know we should do or want to do. We have to let our eyes adjust to the darkness. We have to be willing to look and see the uncomfortable things within us and within the systems around us that we would rather not see. We would rather pretend everything is fine, la, 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 la. But we have to be honest and recognize that there is stuff that needs to be dealt with. And the most important of it is within each one of us. So this week's resource is joy, represented by the munchkins. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Okay, so running, laughing, joyful, full of energy, the munchkins. Happiness and laughter, joy and enthusiasm is a spiritual energy. It's a resource that we could use no matter where we are and what's going on in our lives. It's an inalienable right of happiness. It's always there. It's not out there. It's within us. The classic saying in the Hindu tradition, deep within is a fountain of bliss. Deep within is a fountain of bliss. Their word for bliss is ananda. So there's a source of joy that's within us. Joy is a spiritual energy that's always available. Easy to cover it up, though. It's easy to forget that it's there because there's some shadows that can obscure the presence of joy. Because joy is not complicated. It can be as simple as a smile or a child's giggle or laughing. Joy gives us hope and energy and consciousness on the yellow brick road, no matter where it is that we're going. The Bible story that was put into this children's program was Joshua and the Battle of Jericho. So Jericho is an obstacle in the path. It's a material situation, an earthly situation that is obstructing the spiritual direction we want to go in. And so in the story, Joshua was given the direction of take everybody with the horns, ram horns, and go around the city, go around the outside walls of Jericho with your horns, with music and dancing for 7 days, and then shout at the end. And then the walls came tumbling down. Well, I'm not sure about that, but I know 7 days of music and shouting and dancing can make a difference. Last week before last, I spent some time with my preschool grandchildren in just 3 days with music and shouting and running around and dancing. It's like, whoa, makes a difference. That energy can disturb everything and particularly disturbs complacency. So it's not complicated. So, next, what makes you feel good? Because feeling good is experiencing the energy of joy. Think about that. What makes you feel good? Is there a place that can relax and feel safe and feel a sense of peace? You know, that's a classic thing in visualization and meditation is go to your safe place, go to your holy place. Well, it might be a place that you have within you. Is there a place that you've been that feels right? Is there a place in your home that uh, has that feeling to it? What makes you feel good? You probably do something in that direction. It might, what is it? It might be something of beauty, of creativity. Could be music or art, could be a good book, maybe something in nature. My meditation chair is right by my sliding glass door, and chipmunks are always running around up there. That gives that, they seem joyful. Seem joyful. You have any favorite jokes? You know, there are some people that are really, really good at telling jokes. Comedians. And a lot of those comedians have experienced a lot of pain, a lot of loss and grief. And they've turned to laughter as a way of dealing with it. They've turned to the presence of joy in spite of the difficulties. Some of the funniest people that I know, some of the people that I know that tell the best jokes are policemen and morticians. Have to find a way of dealing with the stuff that they have to deal with all the time. And laughing is a way of doing it. So we have a choice. We have a choice. We can shut down to the feelings of sadness or loss or anger or confusion and just let that go. But when we do that, we shut down the door to joy as well, because all those emotional energies all live in the same area. We sang a couple joy songs to begin with. When I first started coming to Unity, uh, I was just into peace meditation. Then I went through a divorce and I went through deep depression. So I didn't like joy songs. Yeah. disregarded them. And it wasn't until I worked through that and started to deal with my own shadow and darkness that I opened up at the, like, oh, I can see joy songs. So they were real popular in Unity's history. So it's a resource. We have a choice. We have a resource. We have experience of joy. We know that it's true that joy changes the way we are. Don't worry, be happy. Oh, it's easy to say, right? It, no, what that's saying is that there is a choice. We have a choice. And music helped me a lot. I like Bobby McFerrin's song here. Another one that, let's see, last month we had a movie about a young boy who had a near-death experience. And his whole thing was, don't worry, everything's good. It's going to be okay. And so for the longest time, I was singing this song. Every little thing's going to be all right. Well, maybe that's okay if you're from Jamaica and you live in a stoner culture. But every culture has something for changing consciousness, substances to make you feel uninhibited, or if we bring you a sense of peace. It could be psychedelic, it could be euphoric, it could be whatever it is that calms down your anxiety. So, all around the world, throughout history, humanity has discovered and cultivated substances to change our consciousness so that we feel better, so that we're happier. And all around the world, there are problems with that, with people that just want to depend on that. So some people say, well, that awakens us to the possibilities. Well, the possibilities are within us. The possibilities of being happy are within us. That fountain of joy, of bliss, that flow of ananda energy that's within us. Be happy. The number one goal that people have. How do you be happy? There's an 87-year study, a Harvard study of human development about people's happiness. What makes people happy? I think it's money and stuff. Well, that's way down on the list of things that work. There are lots of unhappy rich people. There are a lot of unhappy poor people too. Okay, so you need a minimum level to be pain-free. So you need some subsistence, some survival level. The number one thing that makes people happy is, what's the word that they used? Quality relationships. Quality relationships. So, all relationships have a variety of things, but if they don't have a sense of quality, it can cause unhappiness. But quality relationships, that's the number one thing that makes people happy. The number two thing is acts of service, doing things for people. The number three thing is personal growth, doing things for ourselves. Now, both of those can have a spiritual or religious component to it. So they don't break out, how much is church related, but doing things for others, doing things for ourselves. Those two things make people happy and healthier. They live longer. Way down on the list is having more money, more stuff, more things to deal with. Another thing that's on the list is pets. Pets help make people happy. There's one of the number one recommendations in couple counseling is when you come home or when your partner comes home, greet your partner the same way that your dog greets you when you come home. Not the way your cat greets you, okay? The way your dog greets you. Now, your cat, sit down and find a place where you can purr, and that brings a sense of happiness. Okay, so there's lots of things that you've done, that you do to feel good, to open up to happiness, to connect with that flow of joy. And maybe you've had experiences where you were brought to tears of joy. One of the common causes of that has a spiritual element to it. Whenever we have an experience of the divine, whenever we know that there really is something, it touches us. It's powerful. So what has happened in your life where you knew that there was some spiritual reality, spiritual experience? It could be really profound or simple. When I went on my vacation, I spent a few nights at a yoga ashram in Virginia on my way to driving down to Hilton Head to visit my son. And there's no television. I was reading spiritual things, meditating a lot. And so from Virginia down to I needed to take a break. And so I stopped at a motel in South Carolina. And I was still reading some of the spiritual books. I still had this leftover from the energy at the ashram. There were flies in the room. I'm sitting there reading, and a fly would land on my. Uh, okay, all right. You can never catch them. I can't catch them. So I said, okay. I got up. I went, and it just stayed buzzing around me. I went and opened the door to my room. Said, okay, go out. The fly went, boom, landed on my nose, and then went out. Just boom, boom. I said, you're welcome. Because that's what it meant. That's what I felt. That was a religious moment for me, a spiritual experience. The fly said, thank you. And I don't understand it, but I know it. So I'm remembering that now when I'm dealing with things in my house. What about you? What's happened? There's one thing that is a given for me, a surefire thing for me. It's a piece of music that never fails to get me teary and choked up. You have any of those? I'm going to play it for you. We're going to use that going into meditation. I usually think of music going into meditation as something peaceful, or something that's repetitive, like a chant that's fatigues the mind. This is one that builds, builds up to I'm warning you. Builds up to that, and there we're going to stop. Just be with that energy. Be with that power. We want to dissipate that energy. So a lot of times when we experience that, we spontaneously applaud, and that dissipates the energy. Now, hold on to it. We may be feeling there is joy of a connection. So remember when you've experienced that connection yourself. Powerful resource. And to remember something to call upon, be with. A moment to just experience that kingdom within yourself. Notice your breathing. Notice that you are right here, right now, in time and space, deeply connected to God, self, all others. So we're connected with a deep source of spiritual reality. And from that connection, let's declare a blessing for this church, a blessing for the gifts that we would give in support of this church, a blessing for how we use our time, talent, and treasure. Let's declare these words together. Chesterland Unity has a lavish, dependable income consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. With joy I give, with gratitude I receive. God's great circle of abundance is completed in me. I give to the source of my good. As the source of my good, I give to God from God. We are free and unlimited. Thank you for your support of Chesterland Unity. I dedicate your gifts to do the work of unconditional love, universal truth, and abundant life. Let our lives do the same thing. So, time for announcements. I have some pictures for you. So, how did they put that thing up? Well, okay, so go back. So here's a little, what do they call that? Forklift carrying the obelisk. Next one. And three guys digging a hole. They put about this much gravel in the hole. Next one. How did they stand it up? Well, that's how they did it. Okay. Next one. And they straightened it up. So you can see this was done by a local Chesterland landscaping company called Rock Landscapes. And those guys said, well, first time I ever did that. So they were pretty happy with the way it turned out, and we're very happy with the way it turned out. There's a little mystery. It came from Sally Triggs's dad, right? And it was discovered, buried. So where it went, where it got before that, we're not sure, but we're sure of where it is now, and it's in the right place. Okay, so other announcements after the service today. Healing Circle back in the children's area, 12:30. This coming Saturday is a Death Cafe once again. I've been to all of them. Diana's been to all of them. They've all been good. They've all been different. They've all been very, very helpful, insightful, inspiring. So don't be put off by the title. Diana Repko speaking next Sunday. Oh, yeah. You know, when I first got here the carpeting was a big topic of conversation. No? Well, it is again. There's mold growing on the carpeting. I haven't seen it, but our cleaning service has, which is Erica. And so it turned so during the week we had the temperature set for 80. So 80 degrees, 75% humidity is a perfect atmosphere for growing mold. Okay, so we brought the temperature down. We bought a dehumidifier. And so, but we need to clean the carpet. And so we're going to be asking for help with that. That'll be taken care of, as virtually everything in this church's history has been. So this is a vibrant, healthy, prosperous community. So we're going to close with a prayer. We're going to stand and form a circle, connect physically with each other, connect heart to heart with people around the world, people throughout time, and declaring the words that we call the prayer for protection. Who do you want to hold in prayer here? All those things going on the news, all those things going on in our family, friends, neighbors, adversaries. We're all together with them in a oneness that we all share. And in that oneness, we declare these words of truth. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God, our Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other, perfect harmony. Let begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Amen. Amen. Amen.